Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show. I am joined by
Patrick. Yes.
And today is a spoiler review of The Reality War, the 8th episode of Season 2/Series 15 of Doctor Who.
Is that why I'm here?
Yes, it is. I didn't tell him why he's here. But it was such a big episode, I needed someone else to talk to about this episode. So, we're just going to do quick thoughts on the episode, and then we'll get into some of the spoilery stuff. What did you overall think of this story?
I thought it was interesting. There were a lot of wildly different sections, wildly different feelings throughout the thing.
Yeah.
And still have mixed feelings about certain parts.
That's kind of how I am with this episode. I didn't hate this episode. You know, it's like, it's not a finale that I don't hate, you know? I think there's good parts of it, but I didn't really understand the whole focus on Poppy.
Right, and it did take me a while to realize where I recognized Poppy from, because I had completely blocked that episode out of my memory.
You probably didn't realize, last week you're like, who is this Poppy? And then, it's Space Baby.
Yeah, I had completely blocked out Space Baby, so I had forgotten about it.
But it was really weird to me to just make it such a focus on this episode, because it's not a real... It's a Wish World creation.
Right, and I mean... It's I did realize what was happening as soon as they started folding the jacket, though.
That they're forgetting Poppy?
Yeah.
But it's really weird to me that it's I don't know what to think of this companion exit for Belinda, because it rewrote their entire life. Now it's just a mother? That was her whole... But, I read a comment online, it's honestly, having a companion who has a kid at home, and that's why they want to get home, makes a lot of sense, and that would have been a cool arc. But now it's just kind of tacked on.
Right.
I also did enjoy the, Ronnie, but I felt they were really defeated way too easily.
Yeah, it seems sudden.
It's we have the Ronnie! And now they got eaten by an Omega that gets defeated 2 minutes later.
Right.
It's I was okay, wait, we got 30 minutes left in this episode. What are they doing?
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the joke with Mrs. Flood. Well, that's it for the 2 Ronnies. I'm out of here. Just time out. It's this episode felt like Russell did wrap up everything, but it felt like he just hastily put it together.
I think they probably could have done with, another half hour or so.
It's you need a little bit more time
just
here.
Give it a bit more time so it doesn't feel so cramped.
And then it's you wrap it up so quickly, but then you have 30 minutes with this whole they're forgetting thing and then the reset. And I don't know, it's what was he thinking? I don't know. It's I think I liked it more than the Empire of Death last season. I felt that was kind of the same thing, but Russell just doesn't do season finales well, I don't think, anymore. It's they're just not delivering. For some reason for me. I don't know why. Probably because they're defeated so easily.
I have a hard time remembering a lot of season finales.
There's also that, I guess, too.
I mean, as season finales. The only one I can think of that I'm pretty sure was a season finale, and even it, I'm not 100% sure, was Journey's End.
It was, yeah. That's a season finale.
It's I vaguely recall that being a season finale, but that's the only one I remember, as a finale.
So, now, when did you kind of start to kick in that, yes, he is regenerating? The Doctor, they are regenerating. When did that kick in for you? Did you kind of think it was happening, or was it just all of a sudden?
It was very sudden.
It felt like they added it on. Change of plans.
Yeah, well, I also found out something after the episode. Well, I'd say found out. I saw something after the episode. I haven't confirmed whether it's true or not that they're going on hiatus until 2 years from now?
Yeah, basically, I think really what happened with Ncuti Gatwa, because even last year we saw all these articles that he's ready for, they are ready for season 3 to start filming, they're excited for it, but I think just Disney was pushing things just by not renewing it with their contract, that Ncuti just didn't want to wait anymore, and I think he left.
I will say, just as a side note, based on that information, does not really bode well for the rest of Gallifrey 1.
Well, let's see. We have 3 left to Gallifrey.
We have 3 left.
And only one of them is going to have the last one.
And only the last one is going to have any
connection.
Possibly going to have any new episodes.
Well, we will have the spin-off. There's a spin-off. But that's not the same.
Another one?
Yeah, the war between the land and the sea.
Never heard of it.
Barely anyone has either.
It's The last
Well-
enough I remember was like Class. I saw one episode and that was enough.
Well, the thing is, though, they really made a poor choice to release the trailer after the Shurigatwa regeneration because it's like everyone's going to forget about that. Everyone's just going to talk about that.
Right.
So Anita was back from Joy to the World,
Yeah.
the Time Hotel. That was a really good way to kind of
It was nice to see
make that
Anita
reality
again.
come back. That their main job was literally just holding the door. That was it. Like, do you have a door stopper or something?
Right.
And it's like, I'm here.
It's like, shove a desk in the doorway, you know.
You could have done something. Poor Anita. It felt like there was like a good purpose for them to be here, but they were wasted.
Right, and also, it seemed like at the start of the scene when they were in unit, like they opened several doors,
Yep.
and then she was just holding one door open.
Yep.
Did the rest of the doors close, or was other people
Like,
were other
what's
people
going
leaving
on
them
here?
open?
But you know, it's like it's kind of interesting. Like when you talk about this stuff, it's not like a negative of the episode. It's just those like weird small things that they did.
Right, that just
Like-
seemed bizarre.
You know, it's like this episode is kind of these bizarre choices because it's like, why would you waste the Ronnie that quickly? Why would you just do this weird Omega thing? It's like,
Also, it was I was partially right with one of my assumptions based on the last episode.
Yeah.
I was just wrong about which one. When Miss Flood and the Ronnie did the whole bi-generation
Yeah.
thing, actually
Yeah.
it might have been 2 episodes ago.
to episode 6, yeah.
Yeah.
End of it.
I was assuming that because of that they were going to have 10 come back as
Yeah.
or Tenet come back as 14
Yeah.
and have like a 2-on-2 battle sort of thing.
Kind of like that to wrap up this whole bi-generation thing, kind of, yeah.
Which they didn't do. They did end up bringing another Doctor back.
Yeah. Which, did you
Briefly,
expect that?
but not at all related to the fight.
Nope. Did you expect Jodie Whittaker to come back?
Absolutely not.
I really enjoyed that scene. Like, they really just brought that character back. You know, it felt like no time has passed.
Right.
Which it hasn't, really. It's only been, like, 2 years.
It did feel like it was lacking context, though.
They basically,
Okay.
it's like a time crash. I guess, like, the 2 timelines are just, like, kind of colliding into each other.
Yeah.
But I like the joke with Tenet. It's always him coming back. Yeah, they kind of played that joke. But
Yeah, I do remember they made
but it's
that.
really weird. Like, I don't really follow leaks too much. You know, of course, some of them pop up here and there. But it's crazy how so much leaked about the season that apparently turned out true. And
I was completely oblivious and didn't see any leaks.
I avoid anything with leaks because that ruins the fun. You know?
Yeah.
The only one I really knew about was that Mrs. Flood was the Ronnie. But that wasn't really from the leak. It was because people kept speculating. Because every time a mysterious woman appears in the Doctor's life, they're like, Ronnie. It just happens.
Fair.
It just happens. But it's really, you know, I think all this stuff leaked apparently, but I never saw that Jodie's coming back. So that must have been very last minute. Like, that must have been.
I didn't see that or the other thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about that other thing. Now, the Doctor regenerated into a familiar face.
Again.
And well, this one's a bit different, though, isn't it?
It's a bit more
Weird?
familiar of a face.
Yeah. Billy Piper, who played Rose
Right.
Tyler in the 2005 and 2006 series as the main lead companion. They're back as this doctor, but are they? Because do you know something in the credits? They
So,
don't introduce it.
I saw that and thought nothing of it until reading other
Yeah.
people pointing it out. I still don't think much of it,
Yeah.
but I think it's just a thing. They just left it out.
Yeah.
But it didn't specifically say introducing Billy
Yeah.
Piper as the Doctor.
So
I
they're
did
doing
find-
something.
I did find it odd that they put introducing Billy Piper because she's not really being introduced. That's usually
Yeah.
a thing for newer.
Well,
or,
it's kind
I
of
say
weird,
newer,
though, because
wrong.
they're not saying... Like, they did do the same thing with David Tennant when he came back. It said, and introducing David Tennant as the Doctor. So they do that.
Don't recall that.
But it's really weird, though. It just says Billy Piper. So I have to agree, you know, after, like, thinking about it, they're doing something. I think they didn't know the 16th Doctor, so they wanted to do a little bit of a weird special or something.
That was some of the
Yeah.
speculation I saw because after the episode, of course, I went
Yeah.
and looked for.
Well,
things.
because, like, what's going on? Yeah, it's... yeah.
I did see a couple of people saying that they think there's going to be because they don't know who the next Doctor's going to be. She's going to be as Bad Wolf, kind of like a moment
Yeah.
character again.
Something a little different. Because if you look at the regeneration scene, it's not the normal one. It seems like kind of Shooty's face just faded away, like they slipped away. and then Rose appeared when Billie Piper appeared. So it's
Right.
like it's not traditional. But I think that could also be they just planted it because it was definitely Ncuti's body still. Like they just CGI'd Billie's head onto it.
Yeah,
It's like, here we go.
and I did see someone like just completely out their theory that I will be surprised if it's true. That she's gonna like see herself in the reflection of something on the TARDIS and say, "Oh nope, that's this face again," and then change and have it still be the same regeneration, but a different person again.
Nope.
It's like I don't think that's gonna be happening.
Well, the thing is, though, I really think it's kind of sad, though, at this point. Doctor Who is in this kind of very weird time, but I really think we wouldn't have had this, though, if Russell didn't come back, I don't think. It would have ended with Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker's era, and that would have been an open-ended regeneration and all that. So we've gotten 2 more years, or 3 now, almost. It's, But I just don't know. Do you think the Disney Plus deal kind of is hurting Doctor Who? Because it seems like they're not going to commission season 3 yet. Or if they just kind of held their feet so long that it made Ncuti leave and we didn't get another season with them.
I did see speculation on that as well.
Feels-
Regardless if Disney picks it back up again,
Yeah.
I don't think the show is going to end.
No.
It just won't have Disney's budget.
It won't have that.
It'll
and really,
go back to like the BBC
Yeah.
budget.
And I read that most of the Disney money went toward making it 4K. Like, that's where most of the money went.
And that's incredibly stupid because
It's
there
like-
is no difference between 4K and HD.
It's like, in the terms of streaming for Doctor Who,
Granted, I'm biased.
well, yeah, but in terms of Doctor Who, we don't need 4K. Like, in reality. We're fine with, we're fine with it. We've seen telesnap reconstructions of the classic. We're...
around here. I mean, only in the past like few years did I even get
Yeah.
to a point where I could stream over 480.
Yeah.
So
Well, we live in rural America.
yes, we live in the middle of nowhere.
And internet is kind of a little spotty sometimes.
Expensive and terrible.
So, we don't notice the difference much sometimes. But I think, though, really, though, we just don't know. And we have to see what happens. I hate that, though.
Yeah.
I don't like not knowing.
I don't like not knowing.
But I know Doctor Who's going to continue. But the biggest question I've seen is people are like, should it be time for Russell to leave and someone else new, a fresh creative team takes it on?
Didn't he just get back?
Well, that's what people are thinking. They don't like his era much. There's also been that thing. Because they feel like he's going back to 2005. It's always nostalgia, that type of stuff. And now with this.
So I haven't seen any complaints about like going back to 2005. All of the complaints I've seen about the past several years is that it's going too woke.
No, there's
Which,
that.
if you think like that, watch any of Doctor Who ever. Sorry for the language that you might have to bleep.
I can help. I'll put Dugadoo over that.
And watch any of Doctor Who at any point in its history as from the context of what history was like at that point in time.
And
it's always
that's
been...
I don't think Doctor Who has really changed its mission.
No.
But I think, though, this era, I think we just live in an online world, and people want to complain. Because in reality, I'm going to miss Ncuti Gatwa. I think they were a great doctor.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really just hate how their era feel like it was abruptly ended. Because, like, this story...
It did feel like a very abrupt end.
Because this story did not feel like a regeneration story. It
No.
felt very much... Because it's not celebrating their era, but what is there to celebrate? It's so short.
Right, because they've only...
This is like 16... Yeah, 16...
I mean, 2 to 3 seasons is fairly average for a doctor to regenerate, but it feels like the seasons have been getting shorter and shorter.
Well, this is only 8 episodes.
So it feels like it's only been 1 season with the Doctor, because it's such short seasons.
Yeah. And, like, in this season finale, it feels like there's too many unanswered questions still. Because why did they introduce Susan a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
and now it's like...
And they didn't do anything with it. That annoyed the crap out of me.
Because, like, I was expecting Susan to come back.
Yeah.
And they never did. Susan never came back. Rogue. Why did they show Rogue last week? And how do they even communicate with the Doctor and stuff like that? And Ncuti never faced the Daleks or the Cybermen.
While editing this video, I remembered these Cybermen were featured in the 15th Doctor Titan comic. I did read that comic series, but I guess that shows how much I did not enjoy it and completely forgot about it.
Or anything, like that.
Not to my recollection, no.
And it feels like, unfortunately, this era ended not great,
I'm trying to think, did he even ever face the Master?
Nope. They got the Ronnie, though.
So, 99% of the major villains...
He never got any.
Never saw them.
Never saw any of them.
Although, to be fair, I don't... Oh, yeah, I was going to say did 13, but 13 did face the Master.
Yep, and the Daleks, and the Cybermen.
14 didn't.
Yeah. Well, at least the 14 faced the Daleks in comics. So, there's that. I don't know, it's like, I think the Reality War was a fine enough finale. I think it was kind of rushed, it feels like. They didn't really have a purpose, almost. And I really think, though, this kind of God stuff with these pantheons, I just don't think it's working too well. And I don't know, do you think, because I've seen people, is it really a good idea to start this, they said a fresh era, where you're doing, deep cut people of the Doctor Who universe, like Omega, the Ronnie, Sutekh, as the big kind of bads? There's also been that one.
I mean, I have mixed feelings on that. Because I do like that they're bringing old characters back as villains again.
Because I know you're not a huge classic Who fan.
It feels like they're... It just comes back to everything feeling rushed recently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't have enough episodes.
Right. And that's part of it.
We don't have enough.
Given a few episodes a year.
But also the lengths are short. It was 45 minutes for an episode. Why not go 50?
Well, I think the finale was an hour.
At least that one was long. But I think they had to add a bunch of other... Regeneration!
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I would say the Reality War Wish World was a good enough finale. At least was okay. I didn't like how they went with the Ronnie. It kind of seemed like, here's the Ronnie and then they're gone. I didn't like what they did with Belinda. I felt that was really just disservice to their character. It's not like they died or anything. It just felt like this ending seemed like something that would have been for Ruby. You know what I mean? Because Ruby was always about the lost children.
Right.
And she did get the God of Wishes. There's that. But
no more wishes.
But that was a Ruby thing. So it's kind of weird that they gave it to Belinda. But yeah, I'm going to give this, I don't rate much on this channel, but I would still say probably a C for me, this finale. I didn't hate it.
For just the finale?
For just the finale.
Yeah, it gets a passing grade, but barely.
Which is a real shame. I did like Wish World. I thought that was a good enough start. I didn't even mention Conrad in this entire video.
No. Conrad. Sorry, language again, but really, just Conrad.
I don't care for it, but it was also kind of weird though. People were saying that he gets kind of a happy ending, but that does seem like a Ruby thing to do, to wish him not send him back to prison.
Right.
He gets a happy ending. Also, they never explain why did Mrs. Flood always kind of break the fourth wall. Because, she talked to the camera a lot.
Right.
It kind of seemed like they dropped that. And the last thing I noticed was this, I think a good way to end this video. Mrs. Flood said, and what about the Doctor? Well, his story ends in absolute terror. What's this absolute terror? It didn't seem that hard to stop Omega, and,
I mean, controversial opinion, potentially. I don't like children. But for him, who thought he had a child, and then losing it, for a parent, I can see how that would be a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the terror she was referring to.
But I don't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, then with that, the shitty Gatwa era has come to a very surprising end. Not expected, of course, if you didn't...
Very unexpected end, yeah.
Because I didn't believe the rumors or the leaks or any of that came out in the last couple of weeks. I didn't want to believe them.
And I didn't see any of them, so...
Which is good. I didn't want to believe them. Because I feel it's a really disservice to Ncuti Gatwa, because in reality, their era is 2 years. And it's come, and now it's gone.
Right.
And a lot of the era, in the first season, they were, Dr. Light stories. We had 2 of them. At least this one didn't have too many. But yeah. that was the Reality War. What did you all think of it? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.